And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Minnesota Vikings. It's 3-0 versus 2-1. A good early season battle as we're underway in Week 4. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Here we go! 30 base. 61. Matchbox light. Ready?
Now a play fake here on first down. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. It's caught inside the 25. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. His first touchdown on the year as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Extra point right down the middle, and it's now a 7-0 game.
That's the score, Vikings 7, Steelers nothing.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Auburn product, Corey Grant, and not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26.
Everyone got four down.
On 2nd down, Minshew. The completion good. This is Eric Ebron. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
Minshew, 1st and 10. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a first down.
First down, Steelers.
60 Pittsburgh.
Let's go, dude.
Now Minshew on 1st and 10. Completes it to Corey Grant. It's a pickup of 5. Brings up 2nd down. I don't think it's a surprise they're throwing the football early. We expected that. They told us they were going to come out firing, but 4 for 4 on the opening drive. They like that.
They don't just like it. They love it because now everyone gets locked in. Your confidence jumps up. Everyone's easy about what they're doing out there. And by the way, they're looking at the sideline thinking to themselves and expressing, let's keep throwing it. We're doing pretty well. And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Duke dust and a loose football. And I think they are going to get this one back. Well, that would have been something, double turnovers. But instead, they'll keep the possession on the INT.
And this is one of those bang-bang plays, Charles. Did the knee hit first or did the ball come out first?
This is where you need that 20/20 eyesight, don't you, Brandon? You've got to see which one happened first. If the knee hit the ground, then they will keep possession.
The Vikings send out their punter, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Fielded just inside the 30. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. And what is going on here? Are they serious? 1st down, and they're in punt formation. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
Let's go.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Now 2nd and 7 from the 23.
Sam off. 10.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
Set, ready? 10 Lobo.
Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Hey, pick it up, defense. Let's go.
Hit it.
On third down, Gordon nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Bud Dupree coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th. The Vikings send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. That's pulled in at the 32. 12 yards on the return that time, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. The defensive end, Daniil Hunter, drops him.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24.
Check, 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 check. Recon, 132 fighter. Hey, Haywood.
Watch out. Check Mike 54. Mike 54. Strip the ball. Strip that ball.
Snap.
Looking to throw it. Minshew. Flush to his right. And he's going to keep it here. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. He turned that into a nice gain. Gets him 8 yards closer for third down.
Partner was a definite passing down, but he was able to leak out and pick up some good yardage, even though the coverage was excellent. Maybe it's not exactly how they drew it up, but he still got a big chunk of yardage on second down.
Ready?
Mike 54. You must be getting tired of seeing me.
Say go.
So 3rd and long, here's Minshew. Room to run past midfield. Ebron caught left side. And finally brought down at the 38. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Now a passage taken in by Smith-Schuster. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. A first opportunity for the Steelers in the red zone. They have a 1st and 10 at the 18. Throwing on first down is Minshew. That one into the hands of his tailback, Samuels. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 7 yards on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Again, Minshew looking to throw. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the first.
1st and goal, Pittsburgh.
Ready for the second quarter, and it's our visitors with the football as they go to work on a 1st and goal. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop him right around the 1. And give him 5 that time as they draw a bit closer here for a 2nd and goal. 2nd and goal from the 1.
Here we go. Here we go.
Fire.
They'll try to run this one in. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown on the season as they are now on the board here in the first half. Extra point put through by Boswell. And we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. From the gun, Gordon. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had to fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
Here's Minshew. And it's complete. He gets this one to Washington. No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Throwing on 2nd down now, Minshew. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. 12 yards that time at a Pittsburgh first.
To Juju Smith-Schuster. A gain of 12. First down.
This quarterback now, only one pass has hit the ground for him. 10 of 11 thus far. It's 1st and 10. They will run with Grant. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Minshew sets to throw. He's going to launch it for Washington. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense if that fell harmlessly to the ground. An incomplete pass on 2nd down. That muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Minshew throwing on 3rd down. And that is incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
At their own 22-yard line.
Down.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Ready? 18, Gator.
54. Mike 54. I got one.
Shoot.
Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Steeler touchdown.
That was an interception, but on the field, the guys who are picking it off, they're not saying that. What word are they using? It's Oski. And that means catch the ball and go the other way.
That's your vernacular. I've never heard anybody say Oski.
Ask around. They'll tell you.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. That's fielded in the end zone. They'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
I think Cameron Hayward's ability to take on blocks, hold the point of attack, and get upfield serves him very, very well. What a nice play there.
Yeah, he can take on blocks because he's built like a block. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. 2nd and 11. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Right there, 54, right there, right there.
To throw on 3rd down, Gordon. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
This is taken at the 23. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Corey Grant, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers get the quick strike touchdown. Extra point now by Boswell. It's good, and it is now 21-7.
Match the score. Steelers 21, Vikings 7.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
We play to win. Let's go.
Over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Let's get it.
Here we go. 30 base. Now.
Looking to throw on second down. Gordon, open here, Adam Thielen. 19 yards the pick up there. Move the chains.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They run the counter with Cook. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 38-yard line.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
Watch that end. Tight end's right. Tight end's right. 3 down. Hey, check. 3 down. Hey, watch number 33. Watch number 33.
A reminder coming up just a few minutes from now. We'll send you to Jonathan Coachman and our crew in Orlando. Coach will have a look back at some of the stats and scores from yesterday's action. Now a throw for the left sideline, and he's got it. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 35.
First and 10 at the 35-yard line.
Set. 50. Plant. 54.
First down, here's the run with Cook. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Ain't no such thing as a loss. We taking wins home. Get it.
3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or also just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Give to Cook out of the gun. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. And his kick here is good. And that will get the disadvantage now back down to 11. So chalk that down as an 8-play drive capped with a field goal.
Yeah, as a friend of mine used to say, they were moving and grooving for a while, but they couldn't keep the momentum going enough to get a touchdown out of it.
This will be taken to the back of the end zone.
Let's go. Let's go.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You've got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try and add to it in the second half. But there's a part of me that looks at this and says, first half going my way, I have a little bit of a cushion. Let's go ahead and try and extend things. If you've got some good plays drawn up, you might want to think about them right here.
Now he's going to throw it back deep over the middle. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Anthony Harris. That late in the clock, second quarter, why not just run it a time or two and get it into the locker room?
What you're saying makes absolutely perfect sense. Run it and get out of there. But I'm just wondering if the pressure of today's NFL and the high-powered offenses that you're facing may have forced them into saying, let's try and get some more points.
Off the play fake. Gordon looking here for Smith. He's got a man complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number one. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up first and 10. Looking to throw. Gordon. And this one complete to Smith. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on second and inches.
Right there, 54, right there, 54 Mike. Let's go, D. Hey, watch that.
Second down and inches. Gets past one man. And this is Cook with a grab. And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
First and 10 at the 35-yard line.
So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. It'll be spotted on the right hash, a 52-yard attempt. And this one is right down the middle. So a late turnover leads to a quick drive, and in turn that quick drive leads to 3 points.
So someone makes a mistake, but how about the other side learning from that mistake, taking care of the ball, and making sure they put some points on the board? Well done.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
Pilot, 64, weak. Ready?
They'll throw now on the final play. Going for the deep ball. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down. So we have reached halftime here in what's an 8-point game. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Now Minshew. Open man completes it to Smith-Schuster. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll make this a second down.
A 6-yard pickup brings up second down at the 27-yard line.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Here's Grant. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Here we go. 70, Indy. Single. Hey, echo.
Watch tight end.
From the gun, Minshew to throw. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Michael Pierce, in all of his 340-pound glory, gets the sack.
To me, the defense was looking a little gassed near the end of the first half, but they've come out of the locker room with a little extra spring in their step. Wonder what they did at halftime to get them so motivated.
I don't know, but that sack looked good. Now let's see if they can build on the momentum of that play. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard play. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game.
Come on, let's go. Jim.
And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9.
Anytime the offense shows what they call a shot play or a chunk play where they're trying to get big yardage, sometimes people just call it gadget plays, and you hold it to a gain that we just saw there, you feel pretty good about yourself as a defense.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Back to throw. Gordon. And this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. And they're going to have themselves another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 34-yard line. Operating out of Steeler territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 34.
Man up, D. Deuce.
Hey, Alpha.
Mike's 5'4".
Looking to throw. Gordon. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. On 2nd down now, it's Cook. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves them needing a conversion here on 3rd and a tough 9.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
They need to get this to the 24 on 3rd down.
Right there. 54. Right there. Right there. 50.
Ready?
Operating from the gun. Gordon. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 22-yard line.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
I used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
That is caught inside the 5. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Mike 5-4. I'm coming, baby. I'm coming, baby.
They'll run with Cook. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
Second and goal at the 7-yard line.
Now from the 7, here's second and goal. Here's a 2nd and 7. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Cam Hayward, always a force, got back there for the sack.
Well, in my time in football, I've yet to see a playbook that draws up offensive plays designed to lose yardage. A running play loses yardage on first down. They try and throw it, take a sack on second down. What can the offensive coordinator come up with here on third down?
They need to reverse the trend. The last 2 plays have gone backwards. Now it's 3rd and goal. From the gun, Gordon. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. They're able to hold him to 3 there, and that leads to a 4th and goal.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
He's got 9 points on field goals now. He's made 3 of them. That gets him a bit closer, but there's no question they need to start turning some of these 3s into 6s.
And for him, it's not his concern, right? He just goes out there when they call on him and goes ahead and puts points up on the board. But the offense has got to get together and figure out what's stalling their drives, so they have to keep calling on him.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. And to give this time to the tailback. They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on 2nd down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The Steelers on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. They'll look to throw here. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield. Complete. Certainly not what they wanted there. No gain, and it's 4th down. I hate to surrender the football when you're nursing a slim lead, but they're going to have to punt it away. Trust that defense.
It's the right play at this stage of the game as well. You don't need to press it here because you do have that little bit of a cushion, and you count on your D to make it stand up.
He gets this away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
Let's go, let's go.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But you also have to remember, they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done. Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
Mike spot 4, Mike spot 4, Mike spot 4.
I got him.
Switch it, come on, switch it. Hey, check 24, watch 24.
Set. 10-2 stop.
Check, watch 54, watch 54. Let's go, defense.
To throw on 2nd down. Gordon firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 32-yard line.
This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Gordon. And a quick throw here, that's complete. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 41-yard line.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. 2nd and 2. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. It's a gain of 16, and the Vikings have the 1st down as well.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
65,
61, matchbox lights.
Again, it's Cook. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
It's now 3rd down and 6.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. Back to throw. Gordon, and that's caught by Smith. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 28. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Check right, check right. Check right.
They run with Cook. He's been busy tonight, and he'll get about 4 as he's brought down at the 24. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
Get it.
And, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
And they've got another 1st and 10 as the penalty keeps this drive moving. Cook following the penalty. And he will be stopped here for no gain, and then it's going to take us to the 2-minute warning.
That's it. That's it. Big hit.
So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They come up on a second down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire.
54's Mike. 54's Mike. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54.
Recon, 132 fighter. Bravo. Fire.
Looking to throw on second down. Gordon. That'll be complete to Cook. Down to the 6-yard line on a pickup of 6 as he gets halfway to the goal line.
It drives some people crazy to see those short throws underneath. They've got to find a way to gash the defense downfield.
This will be play number 9 of the drive here as they need 4 yards on third down.
Right there.
Back to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. So this defense, they looked a little shaky to start the drive, but bottom line, they're a play away from finishing it off.
They rocked them a little bit on this drive, didn't they? But as you and I both know, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. They have a chance to end it right here.
And down by 5, they've got to go for it here on fourth down.
Team 6.
Check tight. Mike 5-4. Mike 5-4. Mike 5-4. Yeah.
Okay.
On fourth down, Gordon. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Read it well, and it's picked. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, I don't think we'll have to look very hard to find our play of the game. That was an absolutely monstrous big play right there. Backs to the wall. The offense has it in the red zone, driving for the winning score. And he says, not on my watch. And that is one happy bunch on the sidelines.
And he coughed it up. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they'll have a short field to work with inside the 15 at the 13-yard line.
Well, that sure started out as a good example of what they call backed up or coming out on offense, meaning you're backed up close to your own goal line. Big-time emphasis on practicing that to try and create some room at no less to give the punter a chance to kick the ball away. It means take care of the ball, try and create some space. They were doing that, and the ball comes free.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
And he'll get it up a little shy of the 15. They'll spot him down at the 14-yard line. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 22 ticks to go in the fourth.
18 Gator.
Hey, watch the slant. Watch the slant.
Now.
Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they